United losing 3-0 at home, 2 games now in a row, after losing to Manchester City last weekend. So it shows you that there are really bigger problems. And they start the weekend at 3:30, taking on a Fulham side, this time away from home. Will the fortunes change for Manchester United?
I don't think so. I don't think Man United, Tony, will have change in fortune this time around. They have been sneaking and getting results. But when they meet the guys who are clinical, the Man Cities, the Newcastle, you saw they got punished. And at Old Trafford, growing Craven Cottage, I don't think Fulham will give them that chance. You know, we say Burnley dominated Man United. Sheffield went toe-to-toe with Man United. Both lost against United. But this Fulham side, Tony, can't get the goals. And I think they'll do something against United.
Newcastle came into this game in midweek with a couple of reshuffles, with a few injuries to contend with. They were able to outplay Manchester United, beating them.
A stronger United side.
A strong United side, if you would say. Surely. Now Manchester United comes into this game with the news that Casemiro is now out of the side for an extended period. He sustained a hamstring injury in midweek. In the goal, let's start there. We've been talking about Andre Onana. Does he deserve to continue keeping his place against Bayendia? We haven't seen Bayendia, but does Onana warrant to keep playing game in, game out?
In the Premier League, I would say yes. He was bought to be the number 1. But in the other league cups, I think try the number 2. But again, for you to make the decision to keep Onana in the Premier League, you should have seen how is the number 2 playing, which we have not seen.
We haven't had a chance.
We have not had a chance. So for now, just keep playing Onana.
It will certainly be very interesting. Of course, Manchester United fans will be happy. They saw a few minutes for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so that gives them a very, very good, perhaps, option at the back. We've seen Diogo Dalot struggling. That goal that he conceded against Almiron, I think maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka would have been able to come back and cover in that position. So it was very interesting to see. In the defense, they still lack Varane. He's still out, so we might see Maguire continuing with Johnny Evans or Victor Lindelof. We'll need to see what the coach will do there. On the left side, we saw Sergio Reguilon. He's also started to come back into the side. The issue for Manchester United is in the midfield. Scott McTominay, Eriksen, Bruno, Mount, all his options.
Sofiane Amrabat.
And the coach has still failed to pick a midfield that can shut out opponents. What's going on there?
I think a lot is going on. For starters, Tony, none of those guys except Bruno knows their starter. So if first of all you don't know if you're going to play or not, it's mental. You will not be in the right frame.
You don't prepare well enough.
I think until the coach chooses the correct team and tells you week in, week out, you will be my starter, then you will settle into that game. But now that Casemiro is out, you think, is it going to be McTominay or Sofiane Amrabat? Amrabat might be the one, but who supports him with Bruno? We don't know. Is it Mount? Is it Eriksen? Is it McTominay? We don't know. And talking about the midfield, I immediately looked at the Fulham midfield. They have Paulinho there.
He's a dangerous player.
He dominates.
He's dominant.
Yeah, he's too dominant, and he can stifle that midfield and then try to pick out the reads, the likes of Pereira, and those guys can hurt United. So it's going to be a long, long afternoon for Man U again.
Unfortunately for Manchester United, also up front, things are not looking rosy at the moment. Where are the goals going to come from? Because you cannot put the burden on the midfielders. We've seen Scott McTominay coming in a couple of the games. We've seen Bruno chipping in here and there. Mount hasn't hit the ground running in terms of returns. The forward line needs to start producing. Rasmus Højlund, £72 million. Are we running out of time for him to start showing up?
I think we are running. Tony, I hate it when people say, give someone time, he's young. I mean, Haaland was young.
Ferguson is 18.
He has about 5 goals and he scored a hat-trick and some goals. So I don't believe, I don't subscribe to that faith. So Rasmus Højlund must start getting the goals. I mean, he's gone 7 games without an assist or a goal. That is too poor. We always say, no, he's got 2 goals or 3 in the Champions League. That is still poor. You cannot play 10 games and you're having a very poor return. So if he doesn't get the goals, you've had the talks of Ivan Toney, etc. So he has to start cementing his position. And not only him, the likes of Rashford, they have to start taking those chances. Rashford's XG is too high, but he has nothing to show about that.
Very interesting. Of course, we've seen Anthony coming back into the fold, and he hasn't yet picked up. Of course, he hasn't showed any improvement from where we last saw him So it will suddenly, the owners will have to be sitting on Rashford and Rasmus Højlund. Martial has been coming into the games, is still the same old sluggish self. So the coach will have to start thinking, what can I do? Where can I get the goals from? Rasmus Højlund must be having the hardest or heaviest mantle. He's the number 9. We shouldn't even be talking about the Rashford. But then they have to supply him, which hasn't yet happened. I've not seen Rasmus
that coordination,
trying to coordinate as well with Rasmus Højlund. So it will suddenly be very interesting. They take on a Fulham side, like we said, can hurt you on a good day. They have, of course, the former world striker in their ranks who can easily hurt you. He's also hungry, trying to look for his first goal for Fulham. So this is a game that will be very, very interesting. Leno in goal has had a very brilliant start to the season, so he can easily also cause all sorts of problems with Manchester United. It's an early kickoff. What does Gandhi say to him?
You never bank on an early kickoff, Tony, and I'm not banking on this.
Prediction
2-1 Fulham.
Very, very interesting. Of course, Manchester United have been poor. I think maybe this is a game that I can give them still a benefit of the doubt. I've gone for 2-1 win for United away from home this time.
Tony, I think I've given you mine because I think Fulham, Tony, should be able to take the chances. You mentioned Leno is in superb form. He might let in just one. So 2-1 Fulham.
Big one, of course, that will be coming at 3:30. Remember, the time zone has stayed by 1 hour. So that game will be starting at 3:30 p.m. East African time. Do not miss it for anything. We'll be back with more of the games. Don't move anywhere.